This is the latest Marvel movie, which is unfortunately not good. This movie is bland and has many flaws. Its perfunctory origin story work boasting little characterization and an overestimation of its representational currency. In terms of representation, it could not be a more purely generic exercise from this machine that eats cinema. At a fundamental level, it lumbers along with a weighted-down plot obsessed with backstory. The lack of forward momentum leaves you wondering when the movie is going to start, and when it does, it's another sludgy-looking CGI fest with a big portal. The film is merely a placeholder to introduce a character, peppered with the obligatory fights and visual effects, thinly disguised as both a family drama and marketed as a landmark in the representation of Asian stories and performers on screen. As a character, Shang-Chi has no discernible character traits or defects beyond being the protagonist of the film. He's never conflicted in his decision-making and always does the right thing, which is boring. Every character is more interesting than Shang-Chi, who's a straight man foil to the world around him. He's the stoic to the allegedly brooding center of the film's themes of identity and inheritance. He's a vehicle for plot to drive around, picking up more interesting characters along its extended road trip. Shang-Chi's vague quest to deal with the past that's now caught up with him, explained in clunky exposition with not much dramatic motivation. The actor Simu Liu is not a good leading man. His comedic chops are okay, if a little forced, and he's absolutely game for the fights that the studio seemingly doesn't want you to be able to see. But he simply cannot present Shang-Chi's internal struggle regarding his parentage and the obligations thrust upon him. Liu basically portrays Shang-Chi with all the dynamics of a blank cipher. It's a surprising misfire, as one of the great strengths of Marvel movies have been their casting of their lead performers. Adding to this, unfortunately, is the non-stop parade of flashbacks that add nothing to Shang-Chi's character. You can even argue that this is not Shang-Chi's movie at all, because it's the movie of his father. Any internal conflict that is expressed comes from his father. Not only is his character arc the only compelling one of the film, but his father is the essential force of the unwieldy story. This emotional baggage of Shang-Chi's father drives the details of the film's mystery plot, which are withheld for far too long. In terms of martial arts action, you kinda expect clear and frequent hand-to-hand combat with this movie. Unfortunately, Marvel's editing refuses to get out of its own way. Rather than allowing its audience to follow along with longer takes of the intricately staged sequences, it's all quick cut that completely undermines the appeal of the entire enterprise. The final 30 minutes of the movie is shot with a gray smudgy sheen that drains all energy off the screen. There is an extended fight scene between two dragons that is visually incoherent and just plain ugly. It's probably among the worst third acts in any Marvel movie. Overall, Marvel really need to up their game for their next movie, as this movie is such a disappointment.